Good morning from St. Louis, Missouri, home of the Cardinals. It has been a hard-fought interleague series for both teams thus far. Today, Andrew Triggs leads the charge as the rookie right-hander looks to continue his solid outings as a starter. It's the A's and the Cardinals in the rubber game of the series, and it's coming up next. Well, you're going to have to work hard to stay cool today. It is a very hot, humid day here in St. Louis. Rubber game of the series. Today's game presented by Hyundai. It's the A's and it's the Cardinals coming up on CSN California. Hi again, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's Baseball. Along with Ray Fosse, I'm Glenn Kuiper. We are not melting, but if we sat outside in the seats, we probably would be. Pitching has been very good for the A's as of late. We've seen it in the Indian series, Ray. We've seen it in this series. And last night, it was all about the A's bullpen. Terrific performance.
Well, they did a great job. We talked earlier about the importance of a manager, when to take the starter out. Well, he took him out, National League Park. Daniel Coulombe comes in. He gets 4 big outs. And remember, the bullpen and Neal retired the last 16 batters. Liam Hendriks comes in. We've talked about his power since going to the bullpen, since coming off the disabled list. Blew away Brandon Moss. The important thing, you watch the catcher in this situation. So watch where he sets up, especially Stephen Vogt. He's outside, making sure that if these guys go deep, they're going to have to go to the opposite field, especially the last out. Look where he's setting up the fly ball to left field. There's no way it's going to go out. It's caught by Chris Davis, the final out of the ball game. Happy birthday today to Ryan Madson, number 36 today, but he did a great job last night and pick it up the save.
Andrew Triggs gets the ball today, try to get the A's a series win. Ray, his last start, he was terrific. Right. That was on Monday against a very good Indians team.
You know, it's amazing watching him pitch out of the bullpen. He has done nothing to disappoint anybody, whether it's the bullpen or the rotation. His sweeping, breaking ball against the right-handers. He has a tremendous sinking fastball. And he said Stephen Vogt even brought out his changeup, a pitch that he had not been using. Probably the biggest out for him. He gets a couple of runners on base. This is it. Lindor, a fly ball to right field in the 6th inning. Started tired a little bit with the elevation of his pitches, but he got through 6 innings. He should do great today. And Kite, by the way, he's got all his family coming from Nashville to watch him pitch today. Should be a fun day for him, even in the heat.
All right, the Cardinals will send left-hander Jaime Garcia to the mound. He's looking for his 11th win of the year. Up next, we'll take a trip back inside the A's pregame live studios and then back to St. Louis for the A's and the Cardinals, so stick around.
Baseball on CSN California is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Taste the all-new Jack's Brewhouse Bacon Burger today at Jack in the Box. Limited time only at participating restaurants. By Toyota. Toyota's Labor Day clearance event is here. For Labor Day only, get $2,500 total cash back on the redesigned 2016 Prius. Toyota, let's go places. And by America's Tire. Your low-price journey starts here.
Welcome back to hot and steamy St. Louis as we are moments away from first pitch rubber game of the series between the A's and the St. Louis Cardinals. Greater coverage of baseball is brought to you by T-Mobile. Brandon Moss leads the Cardinals with 25 home runs. He also has the longest home run in the history of New Busch Stadium, and this stadium now in its 11th year. He did it on June 30th of this year against Chris Young and the Kansas City Royals. That blast estimated at 477 feet. That is our greater coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Lineups and first pitch from St. Louis when we come back, so stick around. Starter for the A's has finished up his warm-up tosses. He's heading in from the bullpen. And as he does that, the St. Louis Cardinals take the field behind their starting pitcher, Jaime Garcia, the left-hander. So it's the rubber game of the series today here in St. Louis. Game time weather brought to you by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission fee boardwalk is open daily. Day baseball in St. Louis in the summertime. It usually means hot and humid weather, and that is the case. It's 92 degrees. That's even warm for this time of year, and it is very humid. So if you're sitting out in the sun today, keep drinking water.
It's not 92 in Santa Cruz, is it?
I don't think so.
We should give those temperatures, especially when we're back here.
Let's look at the lineup for the Athletics. Starts with Jake Smolinski in center field and Marcus Semien at short. Danny Valencia will play first base today, and he'll hit third. Then it's Davis in the cleanup spot, followed by Healy, Vogt, Eibner, Pinder, and the pitcher Triggs.
Jaime Garcia, the somewhat of a veteran, a ground ball pitcher. He has at one time thrown a whole bunch of ground ball outs, and if he's on, that is his type of game. Double plays, ground balls in general, and it all really depends on his sinker. If it's sinking away from the right-handers, which has A's have a lot in the lineup today, if that is the case, then he could be good. But if it cuts a little bit in the middle of the plate, it could be bad. So we'll wait and see what happens with Jaime Garcia in the first inning.
Defensively for the Cardinals, as Brandon Moss in left field, Randal Grichuk in center, Stephen Piscotty in right, Peralta at third, Garcia at short, Jerko at second, Carpenter at first today, and catcher is Alberto Rosario. So Yadier Molina getting the day off. Mike Matheny and the Cardinals, they are, as of right now, the second wild card team in the National League. In with a 68-60 record. The A's are 56-73. So we're set for baseball from Busch Stadium.
Well, the old saying, see how C.B. Buckner, home plate umpire, is today. Got to make sure that Garcia gets the ball up, takes it down. It could be tough.
There is C.B. Buckner. Jim Reynolds is at first. Crew Chief Fielden Culbreth at second. Chris Siegel is at third.
And if there's ever a time for a home plate umpire to have a very pitcher-friendly strike zone, today would be the day.
I would be okay with that.
Absolutely. I think the hitters would. Everybody would be.
Smolinski at 272, 7 home runs, 25 RBIs. Hitting in the leadoff spot for the third time in his career. So Bob Melvin trying out Smolinski in the leadoff spot. Jake getting lots of playing time here in the second half.
Now, the Smolinski family very happy. Of course, they were in Chicago. He grew up in Rockford, and they're here in St. Louis watching their son play. And of course, they're very happy anytime they can come and know that their son is going to be playing in the game.
Strike 3 called, and that's how this ball game starts.
Well, inside is the target. Pitched a breaking ball backdoor called by C.B. Buckner. So maybe that right there tells you a lot, as the breaking ball, while not the kind of pitch that he wanted to throw in location-wise, but got the strike, and he's a fastball pitcher, 2 and 4 seam fastball pitcher. But it's a sinker more than anything. If he could throw that successfully, he could have a good day.
Marcus Semien cues one toward the mound. Able to throw to first. Carpenter keeps his foot on the bag, so Garcia hustled off toward the first base side of the mound, and he made the play. 2 outs.
And that could have been a first pitch sinker. When you have a hitter hitting the ball off the end of the bat, high throw, but you're right, Carpenter able to keep his toe on the bag. Carpenter, of course, second, first, doing it all, as Garcia expects to have the infielders on their toes with the ground ball pitching.
Garcia is 30 years old. He's from Mexico. As he faces Danny Valencia. First pitch to Valencia is at the knees for a strike. If Garcia's a pretty good pitcher, the problem is he has trouble staying healthy.
Yeah, it's true.
When he does stay healthy, he's pretty good. But there's been an issue really his whole career. This is his 8th year in the big leagues. This one tapped up the third base line. Peralta bare hands the throw, not in time, and Valencia will have an infield hit.
As any sinker ball pitcher knows, that you can have the hitters hit the ball on the ground, but you have to have them hit at the infielders, or in this case a little bit harder to the infielder. Carpenter coming off the bag at first base, conceding the fact that Valencia is going to make it easily. And he did. Ball hit off the end of the bat again as the infield playing deep with the A's power hitters.
So here's Chris Davis. Davis at 257, 33 homers, 83 RBIs. And the first pitch is a strike to Chris Davis. Davis in this series is 1 for 7. Second baseman Jerko playing right behind second base. He played Davis to pull in the outfield as well. Ray, getting back to Jaime Garcia, he's been on the disabled list 8 times in his career. That's a lot.
That's too many.
2014 twice. Last year twice. He just has not been able to stay healthy.
Okay.
But when he is good, and when he's healthy, he is really good.
And we're going to talk about Andrew Triggs, who's made about 7 trips between Nashville and Oakland. So kind of the difference in the two, one on the DL a lot, the other trying to establish himself at the major league level.
I mean, look at this. Since 2010, lowest ERA among left-handed pitchers. Now look at the names on that list. Every one of those guys is great.
Yeah.
And Garcia, a 3.44 ERA. He got to the big leagues in 2008. Became a regular in the rotation in 2010.
Gio Gonzalez on that list. A couple ahead. It got his 100th victory the other night.
Gio's been good for quite a while now. Nice block by Alberto Rosario.
Well,
First look at him.
All he has to do is watch his everyday catcher. As we have seen Yadi Molina, that's a good block by Rosario, and that's, you want your pitcher to keep the ball down. He's showing right there that he can block it if he does keep it down. Wearing the old style catcher's mask with a lot of padding on his cheeks, chin, and forehead.
Very close pitch. In fact, I'm a bit surprised that C.B. Bucknor did not call that a strike.
Good time to expand. You're the umpire, and
it was inside though.
Yeah, it was inside. It was on the white line that for the batter's box. I think CB was hydrating for the last week, knowing that he had Sunday's series finale.
3-2. Valencia runs, and that ball's hit high in the air, right center. Piscotty's near the wall, and that baby's gone. Chris Davis has done it again, and the A's lead 2-0. Up and out over the plate, and Davis deposited in the Red Sox bullpen in deep right center field.
Well, if there's ever a time for a power hitter to get a ball elevated, Garcia, ground ball pitcher, he missed the fastball inside, comes back with a center cut fastball, and Chris Davis showing his unbelievable power. Right center. Piscotty going back. I don't think he ever had a chance as soon as the ball left the bat. Chris Davis. He went back, but clearly way back of the bullpen of the Athletics. Piscotty a courtesy jump, but no chance. The ball left the yard quickly. But that right field, 10 home runs, and then you combine the 2 strike pitches again for Chris Davis. Power from line to line, especially on a day like today.
1-1 the count to Ryan Healy, hitting in the 5th spot. First inning struggles for Jaime Garcia, an ERA at 7.5. He got the first 2 outs today, but an infield hit by Valencia kept the inning going. That one is just foul.
See the movement on that pitch to Healy? I mean, he's got a lot of movement. Yep. Jaime Garcia does, but on the 3-2 pitch as he threw to Chris Davis, no movement at all. And that's the time, really, just the thought in a hitter's mind that he might be throwing a sinker. Throw it again. He threw a fastball straight. This ball had a lot of movement, hit off the end of the bat, and so really, except for the strikeout on a hanging breaking ball, Simeon's off the end of the bat, Valencia end of the bat, and that foul ball there, same thing off the end of the bat, but at least this one rolled foul.
Healy sitting on a 13-game hitting streak, longest active hitting streak in the majors. He's 2 for 8 in this series, and he rolls that one toward the A's dugout. So during the 13-game hitting streak, Healy is 19 for 49. Rosario, the catcher, sets up outside. Just missed. 2-2. There's not been a great deal of offense in this series. A lot of home runs, or I shouldn't say a lot of home runs, but most of the runs have come on home runs. That one down the left field line, and that will drop fair up into the seats. And that's going to extend the hitting streak to 14 games for Ryan Healy, a 2-out double.
I tell you, if he'd hit that ball solidly, it'd have been another home run. Instead, his power a little bit towards the end of the bat, and as a result, ball's down the line, but not crisply hit, but directionally it was perfect. There's no chance for Moss to get to the ball before it did land on the hard warning track and bounce into the seats. But Ryan Healy continues to go with the bat and fouls off the tough pitches and gets a good one to hit for the double.
So an RBI opportunity for Stephen Vogt. Vogt at 259 with 10 home runs and 36 runs batted in. Oh, and that hit him. Off speed pitch, 76 miles an hour.
Yeah, you look at this lineup for the Athletics. Everybody right with the exception of one lefty. Look what he does. Vogt has the protection on the right elbow. Is Netherquist's going to go talk to his pitcher, but that's a difference, and that's why I think in the Cardinals case, whenever they have faced the Dodgers, for example, in postseason, they've left their power hitting lefties in there and got in. Clayton Kershaw sees so many righties because you're afraid to put lefties against it, but the Cardinals had success, and I think that's an example of a pitcher facing the one lefty after seeing so many righties. Stephen Vogt happy. He took out the lineup card today in full catching gear. It's pretty special.
The struggles for Jaime Garcia. Making his 26th start overall this year. And the first pitch to Brett Eidner. Strike. Garcia rolling along, gets the first 2 outs, and turns out to be a long inning for him, an inning that's not over yet. One and one to count to Brett Eidner.
And there's one person on the field that does not like this. Actually, there's 4, but the guy behind the plate, C.B. Bucknor. He probably would like to have a couple of pitchers who get through lineups quickly, but maybe thinking the first 2 okay, but after that, it's changed considerably. This is the 7th batter to face Garcia in the inning. 5 after 2 outs. Keeps going to the dirt instead of the rosin, which is a little bit unusual, but
with a big swing.
out of the strike zone, but down in the zone that I thought might have been strike, good enough to hit, but could not get under the pitch.
So 2-2 with Healy at second, Vogt at first. And Eidner chased the pitch inside, but the A's get 2 runs thanks to Chris Davis, another home run. He now has 34 long ones on the year. So after half an inning from St. Louis, the A's lead 2-0. 2-0 lead.
Wishful thinking there, partner.
This game going. Carpenter, Jerko, Moss, Piscotti, Peralta, Grichuk, Garcia, Rosario, Garcia. There you go.
And it is Andrew Triggs, and what a performance he had in his last start. We kind of detailed a little bit in our open about him pitching against the Cleveland Indians. 6 innings, 3 hits, a walk, 6 strikeouts. The only walk he has had in 4 starts since he started back against the Angels in that all bullpen game. But he's pitched great. A newfound changeup that he's using. Stephen Vogt has brought that out. Sinker, slider, and of course pitching out of the stretch as this game begins. To score him some runs, he has actually already have, so that's a good start for him.
Facing Carpenter. The upright stance for Carpenter, left-handed hitter playing first base. So we've seen him at third, second, and first in this series.
Now Mike Matheny likes the versatility. Talking to the Cardinals manager about Brandon Moss, he said first base, outfield. He said he's been taking ground balls at third, and today he's in left field. He's been playing first, but keeping him in the lineup against lefties and righties.
Jerko can play any of the infield positions.
Well, you're going to have to center cut him now because fastball outside missing a little bit, and you have to be very appreciative of the run support. Also pitching in front of a big group of people from Nashville driving up to watch him pitch in this game. He said about 5 hours away.
3-1 the count to Carpenter. Jerko to follow, and then Moss. Carpenter is 1 for 5 in the series. And he rips this one toward right center, and that's a hit. See if Carpenter tries for second. He will, and he's going to make it with a double. So Carpenter with his 28th double of the year to open up the bottom of the first. The A's defense today has Davis in left, Smolinski in center, Eibner in right, Healy at third, Simeon and Chad Pinder in the middle, and then Valencia at first, and Stephen Vogt behind the plate.
Carpenter did not expend a lot of energy running to second base. It was almost like it was a given double, but Smolinski cut the ball off, and Carpenter looking back out, figuring that it was going to be an easy double.
There's Jerko, who swings and misses.
That's a pitch that Jerko swung at last night against Zach Neal, and it's a pitch that Triggs can throw a lot, especially to the right-handers. A big sweeping breaking ball.
Grounded toward third. Healy, step or two to his right, makes the play, and Carpenter stays at second, 1 out.
Time now for the Nissan keys to the game, and there's some good ones. Triggs, he wins the series. If he wins the ball game, and the way he has been pitching, he has a couple of runs in the first inning. That should help him. And definitely do not let the heat bother you. Try to get quick outs, get back to the dugout if you're the Athletics, and Triggs is trying to do that. A big out, and it cause it as hot, especially for the people down in the lower bowl, and enjoy this game from those good seats. Are you cold, Kipe?
It's the funniest thing because it is super hot out. We've told you that now. It's very, very humid. But in our very nice broadcast booth here, it's actually a little chilly because the air conditioning is on full blast. There's a fan. So you and I will not complain about being hot. We may complain about being a little chilly.
But you know, next door in the radio booth, there's a control for this booth. There's a thermostat is over there.
Really?
So if they want it extra cold, then we're going to get more cold weather.
I could use my Comcast black jacket.
Hey, by the way, the back door is open, so we get some warm air coming through. There's that huge KMO.
It's pretty funny.
X1120 booth.
See, there we are, right there. Now, if you put your hand out there,
yeah,
it gets hot.
It's like Field of Dreams when you put the hand in the cornfield.
Ken Vince right next door.
John Trinidad sent a text, a great engineer in San Francisco, says, geez, that booth is big over KMOX. I said, yeah,
you have no idea.
That's right. You have to be in JT. Yeah, they could put a lot of booths on the radio visiting side and the TV and put them in their big booth.
Not unless Spike Shannon okay.
That's right.
1-1 to Moss. 25 homers, 60 RBIs. Showed you in the open of our show the long home run by Brandon Moss earlier this year. It was a 477-foot home run against the Kansas City Royals. It is the longest home run hit in this ballpark. And this ballpark's been around for this is the 11th year. 477. And he got him swinging. Good pitch by Andrew Triggs.
A lot of time to deliver this backdoor slider. And again, Stephen Vogt out to talk to Andrew Triggs. The ball bounced in the dirt, blocked nicely by Stephen Vogt.
How about this, Ray? This is the 5th start for Andrew Triggs. In his first 4 starts, look at his ERA, 2.41. He's really done a nice job. He also has made 18 relief appearances.
The run support, less than a run per game. Still looking for his first major league victory. Hope he can get it today, and especially in this heat and in friendly confines, especially from his family standpoint at Busch Stadium, not so much of anybody else.
Well, his first start was on June 18th against Los Angeles. The Angels, he went 3 innings. Since then, he's gone 4 innings, 5 2/3, and then 6. So he's built his innings up, his pitch count up. Hey, who knows? Could be an important month of September for Andrew.
Absolutely. You know, for really all the starting pitchers, and I think for Kendall Graven, he got to 10. Now get greedy and go for 15. He said he has about 6 starts left. The way he is pitching, that's a heck of a goal for him to have for the remainder of the season, especially against some pretty good teams.
Piscotty loops one down the right field line, but foul.
Is it Mick Kuiper? Does he seem to be taking a lot of time once he comes in set position looking back at Carpenter? Just for some reason he's not taking a quick look and going, but he's getting the hitters to hit the ball off the end of the bat. That one served to the right side, but I think the hitters seeing him for the first time with that crossfire where he steps really towards the A's dugout a little bit and then throws across his body back to the right-handers, hopefully outside as much as possible.
Another one right off the end of the bat. Well, this is not the time to worry about the runner at second base.
No, especially with 2 outs. And then before maybe, but he gets the target of the sign and then looks back at Carpenter and then looks back to the plate before he delivers the pitch. See if he does it again. That's a long time. He went quicker back, and of course, too quick.
Well, could it be, Ray, because there's 2 outs and the middle infielders are not holding him on? Maybe he feels like, well, I got to do the best I can because I'm not going to get any help from the middle infield.
Yeah, that's a good point. And he looks back there, and then long time. And you're right, maybe freezing him, but then overthrew the slider away from Piscotty. Yeah, a little bit more critical with the runner at third.
Count is 2-2. Shallow left center. Base hit. Piscotty kept reaching for it, kept hitting him off the end of the bat. He did it again, and it dropped for a 2-out RBI hit.
Well, it's amazing between Garcia and Triggs. We're seeing a lot of this off the end of the bat, and big sweeper, and started at his body. He did not flinch that much, but extended and put the ball in play. And I know we talk about the outfielders and infielders, especially outfielders, and the count can dictate where you're going to play defensively. 2 strikes, the hitter might be protecting. You can afford to play a little bit more shallow, as opposed to the hitter might be more aggressive in counts where he may be trying to drive the ball a little bit farther.
Johnny Peralta takes outside, and now it's 2-0. Peralta 1 for 5 in the series. Peralta began the season on the disabled list. He had thumb surgery. And he may still be just trying to get his timing down. This one ripped foul down the right field line. He had the surgery and then came back and strained the thumb again.
And lost his position too.
That's true.
Not always something that you think is going to happen, but spend time on the DL, give somebody a chance, and all of a sudden you say, let's move you to another position. His arm strength from third base is not particularly strong, as we have seen.
Runner goes. The ball's bounced to Healy. Healy has it. Throws to first. Side retired. Piscotty with a 2-out RBI hit. So an inning in the books from St. Louis. A's 2, Cardinals 1. By Frostbrewed Coors Light. Ground ball percentage leaders in the National League. Cardinals have 3 guys on top, so be ready on the infield. Garcia, Martinez, and Leake. Highest ground ball percentages in the National League. The problem with that is the Cardinals have struggled defensively this year.
Yeah, that's not good. Stay on your toes, and you don't want a single ball pitcher to try to start pitching to get fly ball outs.
Cardinals 7th in the league in team ERA at 3.99. They've made 88 errors. And we have been told that it's been an issue for them. Pinder, Triggs, and Smolinski here in the second inning. Pinder 3 for 18 with a couple of RBIs as a big leaguer.
I think Chad Pinder's got to be looking forward to the day when he can play against everybody, righties and lefties. And it's hard because you feel like that you don't get a lot of quality at bats because you're not playing a lot, especially if you're in a platoon situation.
This was Tuesday. Picked up his first big league RBI.
That was with 2 outs also. Ball in left center off Salazar. Wash was happy. Oh, give him a hug.
Pinder swings and misses. So we've seen a couple ace hitters swing at that pitch.
They hung a breaking ball and then hard breaking balls to the back foot of a couple of hitters. Eibner last inning to end the inning, and Pinder to start this inning. I don't think that Rosenbag is going to stick around dry very long.
Triggs. Ace pitchers, not a lot of success this year. They're 0 for 19 with 11 strikeouts and 3 sacrifice bunts. Not an easy task. One or two now to Triggs.
Hey, how about this guy? Hey, why don't you grab a bat? You're going to start a week from today, and you're going to face a National League pitcher. So start swinging right now and get your swing down so you can get some big hits.
Yep, I agree. Strike 3 called. So 4 strikeouts for Garcia.
Well,
and that'll go to the top of the order now in Smolinski.
Even the managers hydrating or trying to stay hydrated after being front and center. And the thing about these dugouts, while they are wide, there's shade underneath, but you'll see the managers out on the top steps, so they're enduring this heat all day as well.
Here's Smolinski, who struck out looking in the first inning. Running away.
Oh, we mentioned Jake's from Rockford. There's mom and dad. The big bicep guy, that's his dad. I said, Jake, your dad? He said, oh yeah, he works out. He's strong. And I said, yeah, I guess. But that's mom and dad coming from Rockford to watch their son. Saw him in Chicago as well. But I think Pops does some working out.
Yeah, I'm not messing with him. He'll say nothing but nice things about Jake Smolinski.
That's right. Yeah, they're very proud of their son, as all parents would be, seeing their son play Major League Baseball. They've seen enough of Jake. It doesn't bother Jake because he knows they're going to be there.
Rolls that one foul.
And if you grew up in the northern Illinois part of the country, you know this heat and humidity. And whether you get used to it, probably never. Especially playing on the West Coast, and you saw some of the shots with Andrew Triggs pitching against Cleveland guys wearing long sleeve sweatshirts. You don't see that today.
See a lot of red Cardinal t-shirts though. I know.
Absolutely.
That. 2 pitch. A tight slider down and into those right-handed hitters. Pitch number 39 coming up. Not yet. I would say Jaime Garcia has reached down to pick up dirt probably 25 times today. Picked up by Carpenter. He'll take it himself. So that's a good inning for Jaime Garcia. Couple of strikeouts. Bottom of the second. Coming up 2-1 Athletics. California is brought to you by Black Bear Diner. Feed your inner bear. A's 2, Cardinals 1, bottom of the second inning. And a steamy day at St. Louis. So if you're in the shade, you're okay. Yeah. If you're in the sun, hang in.
And the men in blue are in the sun all day.
Yeah. Grichuk, Garcia, and Rosario here in the bottom of the second.
Saw Lou Brock last night. I say, hey, Lou, you still have the Brockabella? And he goes, no, there's my banker over there. She didn't like it. So, evidently, it wasn't a great thing, but today would have been perfect for it.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Really, the people around you have to enjoy just a little shade, small umbrella that you attach to your head. You don't have to put up the big one to block the view of everybody around you.
You would think the Brockabella would be a big seller here in St. Louis.
Absolutely.
Maybe not in Chicago.
See, that's a normal size. I mean, people behind, especially start poking people in.
Grichuk chases a pitch well out of the strike zone. Strikeout number 2 for Andrew Triggs.
Well, that's a pitch that Andrew likes to throw. Stephen Vogt likes to call it. And this drop down, sweeping breaking ball. And from a hitter standpoint, especially right-handers, they see what they think is a good pitch. And then very quickly, it's out of the strike zone. But what you want to do as a pitcher, and Triggs tries it, and that is not throw it necessarily at the hitter so much that it hangs as the one that Neil threw last night that was a hanger to Grichuk.
Greg Garcia. Garcia played last night and he had a couple of hits. Mike Matheny has him back out there at shortstop. Cardinals with their 68 and 60 record, they have not played great in interleague. They're 8-11. These have not had a great year in interleague. They're 6-13. Still hard to figure out this one though, Ray. The Cardinals are 30-36 at home.
Yeah, that's hard to believe.
And they've won just one interleague game here at home. And that was Friday night. That's very hard.
Well, you think about the way the ball carries here and the home run hitters they have. You would think they would be winning a lot of games.
I was going to say, they must be giving up a lot of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're terrific on the road. They're 38-24 on the road. That's a great road record.
Well, Moss hit 2/3 against the Mets, but they lost. They gave up 10 runs.
Good pitch on the inside corner. So 2 outs here in the second inning.
Well, the breaking ball outside, and then all of a sudden Stephen Vogt goes inside, and watch this pitch and just freezes Garcia. And you get a hitter thinking one side of the plate, and here comes the pitch in the other. That little two-seamer, and he has a good one. And we remember when Bartolo Colon pitched here, he would use that pitch effectively inside to left-handed hitters, but he would not throw it until he knew he had the good movement, because he didn't want to make a mistake inside the lefties. Triggs kind of the same way. He will not throw it a lot, but when he does, he wants to make sure that the ball is going to start at the waist and the knee and come back over the plate, which the one did to Garcia.
Berto Rosario. Strike call. Count is 1-1.
You know, we were talking about pitchers hitting 8. This is a case where actually Garcia has driven in more runs than his catcher has. He's got 4, Rosario 1. Of course, Rosario with Yadier Molina not catching today, but catches the majority of the time. And I was told that Yadier wants to play every day. He has this afternoon off, but he said it's his manager who has to control the amount of time that he plays, because if it was up to him, Yadier Molina, he would be playing every day. That's a credit to him. He knows his importance behind the plate, as we have seen in the first 2 games.
1-2 pitch. Reach for, popped up, shallow center, Pinder out, and Pinder has it. So a 3-up, 3-down inning with 2 strikeouts for Andrew Triggs, and we are headed to the 3rd. 2-1 inning.
Right now, whether you want to renew your memberships or join the party, visit athletics.com/2017. You'll find all the benefits that A's membership has to offer, including early bird incentives, exclusive experiences, half-price parking, a flexible ticket exchange program, and more. You can even lock in your 2017 seating location. Visit athletics.com/2017 and join the party. He's ready to join the party.
Yeah, he's probably already called. Youngsters, they'll sleep all the night.
I hope they don't fall asleep in the sun. If they do, go to the shade instead of sitting in the sun.
Simeon, Valencia, and Davis for the A's here in the top of the third. You have one of those. It's a good day for one of those.
Remember you went to play in Little League, Pony League or something, and the truck would come by, ding, ding, ding.
Oh, yeah.
Go right to the truck, give me one of those.
Yep. Stop him right in the middle of the street. See it. Throws low, and Carpenter can't dig it out, and the A's have a base runner. E1 on the throw, and I don't know that anything's completely routine, but that's
routine.
A fairly routine throw for Garcia. He had time to set. He actually, I think he rushed it a little bit.
Yeah, I agree with you. And it wasn't a sinker. It was just a ball that he threw straight into the dirt. And Carpenter, you know, he had it in his glove and probably would say he should have caught it, bounced out in front far enough. But if you're a pitcher, you know, that's the one you throw chest high. And four-seam it, had enough time to adjust the baseball to throw a four-seamer to first.
So error number 89. See if the A's can take advantage here for Valencia. The next year interleague play, the A's will play the National League East.
What about New York, the Mets? They're at home.
I think it's there. I don't know that for sure. I've heard rumors. Marlins, Phillies, Braves. Don't forget about the Braves. Nationals.
They just haven't been to Washington.
No, we gotta get back
to the new park. Been to RFK Stadium, but not to the new Washington Nationals Park, which I think your brother said is quite nice. A nice view from the booth to look out over, see the Capitol.
A view of everything. It's so hot.
Which maybe is not so good.
I do not believe that we go to Washington, D.C. next year.
PNC Park are up to heaven. Way up in Pittsburgh. See downtown Pittsburgh, but you can only see it, one time. See the baseball game. It's a beautiful sight here, though, to see downtown St. Louis with the arch, as we have seen over the weekend.
No complaints here.
It's a beautiful shot right there from where we are sitting.
Valencia bounces it towards short. Garcia waits out at second. The throw on to first. And Valencia hustling down the line beats the throw. So a fielder's choice. Garcia waited on that one a little bit. Thought maybe he would charge it.
Well, that's a good point, because it seems like when the A's are hitting the ball on the ground, it's kind of a thud. It's not crisply hit to the point that you could stay back and expect to turn a double play. Especially if the ball is on the end of the bat, it's not going to get to the infield as quickly. I wonder if Garcia is pitching in honor of the great late Mark the Bird Fidrych, playing with the dirt off.
This was what Chris Davis did in the very first inning.
You make a mistake in the middle of the plate, this is what can happen. This is just a huge swing. And say, well, I got him hit the ball to right field, but this is the back end of the bullpen. And a salute to Ron Washington and number 34 and 85 for the big man.
Behind Trumbo and Encarnacion. Encarnacion over 100 RBIs.
Well, if Trumbo, they don't sign him long term in Baltimore. Oof.
A little bit inside, 1-1. Trumbo's Orioles are struggling right now. They've lost 3 in a row, but they got some teams breathing down on them in the wild card race big time. Yeah, wild cards. It becomes a little more interesting every day. It's becoming even more interesting. Boston and Baltimore are the top 2 teams. Detroit's right there. Houston's right there. Seattle. But then, Ray, the Yankees are only 2.5 out.
Wow.
The Royals are only 3.
That's the team to worry about.
How about that?
They know what it's like the last 2 years, 14, 15. A couple of trips to the World Series, winning one, losing the other.
Yeah.
But, you know.
So it's going to be, I mean, you got 35 games left, give or take. That wild card race is going to be fun to watch.
And you know the schedule for Kansas City better than I, but if they have home games, that Kauffman Stadium would be packed because they're coming off a world championship, and that usually results in a lot of people watching a team that just won the world championship. And the A's will be there on the next road trip.
As you say, they got 4 home games against the A's. We know that. Runner goes, pitches low, throw to second base. Got it. So Valencia tried a little sneak attack. Rosario throws him out.
What a great throw by Rosario, and he got the great jump. Rosario, look where the throw is, and straight in the bag at second was Jerko, and Rosario just a quick release and had Valencia by plenty. And so Valencia didn't think it was 3-2, but you're probably correct in your assumption that he tried to get the good jump. He did, but Rosario took care of that.
So 2 away. See that giant fan blowing in the
it's huge.
far end of the A's dugout. 3-2 pitch is not close.
You know, the one thing about Chris Davis hitting, of course, he walks here and Valencia thrown out, but Chris Davis is one swing away from being a 2-run home run, and unless you can steal a bag and be 100% sure you're going to, that's why sometimes it's a question mark why you're running. But Valencia thrown out, Davis walks, but Chris already with a big 2-run home run, and I'm sure Garcia and Rosario pitching him carefully the remainder of the game.
Here's Healy, who doubled in the first, extending his hitting streak to 14 games. And it's this high in the air foul. First place Rangers and the Indians will be getting underway in just a matter of moments. Good series down in Arlington. 2 first place teams. Rangers will host the Seattle Mariners tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So an opportunity for the Mariners.
Well, the Rangers got a grand slam in the first inning. What, a 5-run first against the Tribe, and was it Jimenez pitched an inning? Had a 1-2-3 for the Tribe.
Carrasco got knocked around by the Indians. Is that the same guy we saw?
Yes. I'll tell you what, he pitched in Oakland. 8 shutout innings. Santana with a home run. Actually was the game that Triggs pitched. He pitched actually the entire game except for the home run by Santana. And pitch that Ryan overthrew a little bit.
Healy bounces it fair down the third base line. Chris Davis headed for third, and Ron Washington gets a good look at the throw coming in, and he holds up Davis. Interesting, Ron Washington, if he stays in the coach's box, he cannot really see down in the corner because there's very little room, and he's blocked by the fans. So Wash got right next to the foul line between home and third, and he got a better look.
See how close this ball is to the third baseman. Peralta did not even offer at it, just threw his glove, but Moss got to it, and you're right. That down in the corner, and Wash gives him an opportunity to go down the line to see where the ball is in the corner, and for the base runner to watch him as he rounds the bag to see what he has to do. So he need 2 for 2 today.
And here's Vogt. He's need a big 2-out hit here. Stephen Vogt takes a strike. Vogt was hit by a pitch in the first inning. So 1-1 the count. A lot of pitches for Jaime Garcia. 57. Vogt drives one right center. That's hit well. And that baby's gone. Vogt with a 3-run homer, and the A's lead 5-1. I believe that's his first off a left-handed pitcher.
I think you're right.
That will make him feel good.
Stephen Vogt, all right-handed, exactly right, Kay. And this one, fastball right down the middle of the plate. A mistake made by Garcia, and a shot by Stephen Vogt, hit by a pitch. This time he can give the kudos to the guys in the dugout without having to wait at first base in the hot sun. So right center field. And that is his first 3-run home run. And a good time to do it. A 2-run shot, a 3-run shot. And Stephen Vogt, who actually had the option of catching last night or today, but because Maxwell had caught Neil Moore, he said, I'll take Triggs. And he had caught Triggs, and it's worked out. Maxwell did a good job last night. Stephen Vogt today with a big 3-run home run. And would like to catch a winner.
0-2 to Brett Eibner. Eibner struck out in the first.
If you're a ground ball pitcher and you give up 5 runs on 2 home runs, that's not good. And all this happened after Valencia was thrown out by Rosario. The walk, the double, and then Stephen Vogt with a 3-run home run.
And the inning started with the error by Garcia. And obviously there's a fielder's choice, and then a runner got thrown up. But you just don't know. I mean,
yeah, you're right.
How much did that error change the inning? Who knows?
Yeah, really, I agree with you, Kai, because if that is an out, which it should have been, and Valencia hits the ball to short, that's an out. Then you got 2 outs, and they pitch differently to Chris Davis. Trying to get the 2-run home run, end up walking him. But I think this guy is just, for the Cardinals, has to be a big question mark what they're going to get from it.
So Stephen Vogt with a big hit. He has a 3-run homer here in the third, so the A's lead 5-1. 5-1, bottom of the third inning. It'll be Garcia, Carpenter, and Jerko. So Andrew Triggs will try to have a shutdown inning. And when your catcher hits a 3-run homer, boy, do you need a shutdown inning.
To make him feel good. I think Jaime Garcia was happy to stay in the game long enough to hear his walk-up music to hit. And they just played it. So he does get to hit. Does have 4 runs batted in, 3 more than his catcher, Rosario.
Looks like he can hit, whatever that means. He's got the look.
Well, he has batting gloves on, so that means he doesn't go to the dirt. You know, he only does that with the bare hands when he's pitching. Yeah, he looks like a hitter.
That's a good swing.
With a Yadier Molina leg kick.
3 strikeouts in the first 2 innings for Andrew Triggs. Straight up defense for Jaime Garcia. Just missed. And he swung and missed. Vogt will flip it to first. And that is strikeout number 4. And now to the top of the order, Matt Carpenter.
You know, your point about the 3-run home run by catcher Stephen Vogt. I mean, a day like today, while every catcher wants to catch a good game and have a good game with his pitcher, it really is a huge bonus when you can hit a 3-run home run and you're going to have a soaked uniform. You can talk all day about the heat to the home plate umpire, who actually, C.B. Bucknor went into the home dugout and got some refreshments. Got a little shade before coming back out on the field.
1-0 to Carpenter, who doubled and scored in the first inning. Down man. We'll be in Houston tomorrow to take on the Astros. Now the Astros are losing at home. The Rays leading 4-0 in the 4th inning, but the Astros playing better. They've won 7 out of their last 8.
It's going to be the same temperatures, except Minute Maid is going to be closed. That's the only difference.
Jose Altuve, since we've seen him last, he's even gotten better, if that's possible. He's leading the American League in hitting with a .356 average. That one's belted to center. Smolinski spinning around, looking up, and it's gone. So Matt Carpenter hits number 17. And now it's 5-2.
Well, twice Carpenter's worked the count in his favor. 3-1, 2-1. A double and a ball well up on the grass in center field. That fastball stayed up a little bit too much, and number 13 with no batting gloves took advantage of it to straight away. Look where this ball lands. Smolinski to the wall, but clearly way up on the grass in center field.
So another home run for the Cardinals. It's their 3rd in this series, and Ray, they have now homered in 17 consecutive games. 184 on the season. So that is where they are dangerous. They're even more dangerous when the home runs become 2-run homers and 3-run. You can deal with the solo shots.
Well, that's only the 2nd home runs that Triggs has given up this year in the starting rotation. Given one to Mike Trout in the 4th inning of his first start back on June the 18th. Came out of the game. And Johnny Giovatella, who has he been picked up? I thought he was designated. That's hard to believe. Johnny G. But he had a home run. And while Triggs did not get a decision, as he started 3 innings, pitched great, but that's the only one. Trout hit him for a tying home run. This one a solo to straightaway center. The fact that Triggs in his 4 starts prior to today has only walked 1 batter, and that was in his last start against Cleveland.
Jerko waves at that pitch. 2 outs. Remember we showed you the other night that Cardinals 9 players with 10 or more home runs. The last time a Cardinal team did that was the 2000 season. And look at some of the names. Edmonds had 42. Wow. Fernando Tatis, Edgar Renteria. Will Clark was on that team. Sean Dunston.
Craig Paquette, a former Athletic. A couple of former A's on there. McGuire, Paquette.
They hit a bunch that year, 2000. Was at the old ballpark. There was Big Mac land at the old ballpark as well. Question is, how did the Cardinals do in 2000? They won 95 games and won the division. There you go.
Now Brandon Moss with 25 of all those home runs you mentioned. 2 on Thursday. 60 runs batted in.
That one to right field. Eibner's back, and Eibner's going to have just enough room, and he makes the catch. Side retired. Solo home run by Matt Carpenter. So we're on to the 4th. 5-2 A's lead. Five-2 A's lead, top of the 4th inning. Chad Pinder to lead it off. Chad Pinder, Andrew Triggs, and Jake Smolinski. There's a one-hop shot off the glove of Garcia. He tried to pick it and then grab it out of the air. Couldn't do it.
Ole, ole.
A little bit. So it is a base hit for Pinder. It was a very hard hit ball.
Well, they can say, yes, take it on the side, but, you know, ball hit this hard. It's very difficult with the topspin once it hit the ground to come up with it and then to try to barehand the ball. And I know it's easy for me to say to get in front of the ball, but ideally, knock the ball down. You might have a chance, as hard as the ball was hit, to throw him out, but infield hit for Pinder.
Triggs squares early. And he punts at it and missed it. always a good scenario when the place hitter gets aboard, but the pitcher has to do his job. Right now Triggs falls behind in the count 0-2.
And he's going to try it again, and the infielders know it, and he just bunted through it like the bat had a hole in it.
See how he's kind of jabbing at it, which you really don't need to do that. Just hold the bat out there.
Yeah, exactly. Just follow the ball, hit the bat, and let the bat do the work.
Get your thumb
and really turn around. He's bunting everything.
And that was not a good effort by Andrew Triggs. So it's a strikeout.
Well, as Bob Melvin, I think, appropriately said, these guys can swing all they want, but all I want them to do is bunt. And really, it helps a pitcher, and we have talked about how pitchers can help themselves if they can get a bunt down, get him to second base. He had 3 opportunities and really only bunted it 1 strike, and that one he bunted through.
So Pinder still at first, and now Smolinski will hit. Smolinski a strikeout and a ground out to first. He's 0 for 5 in the series with a couple of walks. Change up at 82 miles an hour. White Sox are leading the Mariners 2-0 in the 5th inning. Walker and Rodon, the 2 pitchers in that game. On the ground to third, scooped up, out at second, on to first, and that's a double play. So Peralta to Jerko to Carpenter, 5-4-3 on the double play, and that will do it for the A's in the top of the 4th.
Our catcher, and today a big 3-run home run. He's a fan favorite. That is Stephen Vogt. Stephen will be signing autographs at the Xfinity Store, 31055 Courthouse Drive. 31055 Courthouse Drive. It's in Union City, Saturday, September the 3rd, next Saturday from 11 a.m. to noon. Opportunity is limited to the first 150 fans, so be sure to arrive early. He is a great guy, and say, hey, how about that big 3-run home run against the lefty in St. Louis? I've said it's your first against the lefty all season, and indeed it was. How about the veteran Stephen Vogt said, Max, Bruce, you could catch the Saturday night game. I'll take the Sunday game. Yeah, I'll take the heat. Hey, Visaya gets hot a lot. Is Mike Shannon the beauty coming in here between innings?
Yeah, Mike Shannon just gave us his thoughts on a American League pitcher attempting to bunt, and I'm not sure we could say it all on the air, but it was very, very funny.
He said, doesn't he know you can't go to first when first base is occupied after you bunt through a pitch in the dirt? With a few other choice words in between.
Just slight sarcasm, not a lot. Guess you don't bunt much over in that league, huh?
Well, you know, he's happy the Cubs are going on the road, and he does not do road games. So this is his final game for about 10 days. Well, I said Cubs, Cardinals, sorry.
Really? So he is just a
home game.
Good for him.
Just does home games. So the Cardinals take off. There is the great Mike Shed. He's the Cardinals Hall of Fame.
As he should.
45th season. He is a beauty. And that large booth for KMOX 1220 is a result of that man, Mike Shannon, who kept saying, make it bigger, make it bigger, make it bigger. The TV booth is big as well. That is John Rooney on his left or right.
1-2 and a swing and a miss by Stephen Scotty, who had the RBI single in the first inning.
Andrew Triggs had not had a shutdown inning after the home runs. This time goes right after Piscotty with a good fastball in the middle of the plate. As he's at his 4th inning, Triggs is 54 pitches.
So here's Johnny Peralta. Pretty good legacy of broadcasters, though, here in St. Louis.
Man.
I know you grew up listening. Joe Buck. Harry Carey was here for a long time.
Just told that Joe Buck has a book coming out.
Jack Buck. I always say Joe Buck.
But Joe broadcast here with his dad. Yeah. And really, the memorial service, what a tough job that had to be for Joe to pay tribute to his father on the field while the place was packed. Memorial service. But Joe, a very good broadcaster. He had a restaurant downtown. I don't think it is any longer here, but there's a lot of the network games will be here in the World Series, I assume.
And was is it the same radio station as the one you listened to as a kid?
Yes, except there was a period of time they changed and then came back to KMOX. There's the legendary Jack Buck, Red Cheney's Stan Musial. There's some great Ozzie Smith, who talked last night with his backflips.
Line drive, Simeon grabs it, and it's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Andrew Triggs. 5th inning coming up, 5-2 Athletics lead. Series against a playoff contending team. They took 2 out of 3 from the Indians at the Coliseum, trying to do it here in St. Louis with the Astros coming up in Houston. Simeon, Valencia, and Davis against Manny Garcia. Simeon has grounded out and he reached on an error. 0 for 2. 1 for 10 in the series. On the ground to the shortstop Garcia, and that's out number 1. So we've enjoyed talking about the great history of the St. Louis Cardinals. In time for the Ford Right Choice, maybe we save the best for last. Bob Gibson, 17 seasons with the Cardinals. He was an All-Star 9 times. World Series champion twice.
About the way he fell off the mound like that.
Man.
Gaff, I think you said it best as you were talking about in the MVP in the World Series, and they lost. But a 1.12 ERA. We talk about Tommy John surgery. How about the mound being lowered because of his ERA? That will always be the case after the 68 when he had a 1.1. Can you imagine taking the mound? And I think early in the season it was higher, and it started reducing to the fact that it ended up 1.12. So you take the mound against Bob Gibson, you figure we're going to get 1 run, and that's it. So you better pitch a shutout. We'll get you 1, but we're not going to get any more. What a great competitor, great pitcher.
And I actually gave you wrong information, right? He was the MVP when they won in 64 and when they won in 67. 68 is when the Cardinals lost to the Tigers. He had the great regular season.
Right, that's right. The MVP, MVP,
that's right. He was the league MVP that year.
And McLean won 31. Lolich won 3 in the World Series against the Cardinals, which is very rare. That was pitching on a 4-day, 4-man rotation.
Danny Valencia reaches out, and he's got himself a 1-out single. But it certainly is fun to look at the career of Bob Gibson. It was just awesome up and down the board. Valencia reaches for that one. So hit number 7.
And I was thinking, and just confirmed that Bob Gibson, pretty good basketball player, played for the Harlem Globetrotters.
That's right.
So, I mean, quite an athlete.
Davis pitches outside. Bob Gibson from 1968. He had a 5-year stretch, 68 to 72, right? His complete game totals, 28, 28, 23, 20, and 23. Complete games.
Okay, go. How many starts?
34, 35, 34, 31, 34.
It's pretty impressive.
And the most starts he ever made in a season was 36. See, I would have thought maybe more.
Is that a 4-man rotation? You'd think 40. But yeah, he would be put in there every time possible.
Yeah, 36 was the most. And he was always 33, 34, 35.
As he played in that era that Gaylord Perry had 40 starts, 40 decisions. And you make that many starts, you're pitching every 4th day. And today pitchers pitch every 5th day and sometimes get an extra day.
Well, maybe if Bob Gibson's up here in the press box, we could say, Bob, I don't know. I was surprised that I thought you made a few more starts.
And he'd say the same thing to us that he'd tell his catcher, Tim McCarver. Timmy McCarver is actually doing some TV games for the Cardinals. Does about 30 a season, I understand.
Peralta with a nice play, and the Cardinals are going to turn another double play. 2nd inning in a row they've done that. And it's another 5-4-3 double play. deals on amazing cars are going on now at your Hyundai dealer. Visit myhyundai.com today. 5-2, bottom of the 5th from Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Garcia, Rosario, and Garcia.
And the pitcher Garcia is pitching like he normally does. Fortunately, the A's have two home runs because he has a whole bunch of ground ball outs, 2 double plays. And that is pretty standard for him. But he's due third, and the bullpen is starting to get loose. We're on the pitching playing in National League Park. The pitcher hitting. He has just faced his last hitters.
So 0-1 to Greg Garcia, who struck out in the second inning. .58 pitches for Triggs. Again, doing a nice job. Gave up a run in the first, and then a solo home run in the third. On the ground, right to second. Pinder has it. It's out number 1. So that'll bring up Alberto Rosario. It's Miguel Sokolovich.
Just wonder if Rosario does not get on if Jaime Garcia hits.
Yeah, I bet he does.
Yeah.
Sokolovich is out there in case Rosario gets aboard, then maybe the Cardinals try to get something going with a pinch hitter. Swing. Indians and the Rangers scoreless in the third.
Sure toasty down there too, huh?
It's got to be. Angels leading the Tigers 5-0 in the top of the 8th in Detroit. Indians with a 4.5 game lead over the Tigers in that Central. They still play each other 7 times, the Indians and the Tigers. So Detroit still has a shot. Swing and a miss. Sweeping slider, 2-2.
But look how much this ball just sweeps away from the right-hander. It looks so good and then just keeps moving. Stephen Vogt might have an extension of his left arm before this game is over, having to reach so far to his right so many times.
And that one light but foul. Out in front just a little bit. Defense straight away for Rosario. Inside. Triggs throws on 3-2.
Had a little movement on his fastball.
Got it. Fastball outside corner, 90 miles an hour. Strikeout number 7.
And it's 6 in his start against the Tribe, and that's number 7 here. Okay, interesting story. They're talking about the roster is being increased to 40. At least you can. 40-man roster starting next Friday or next Thursday, which is the 1st of September. But you'd have to think with so many relief pitchers in the National League, it would have to really benefit the National League teams because they get to bring up more players to have a better bench.
Healy throws. Nice play by Ryan Healy, and that is 8 in a row retired by Andrew Triggs. 6th inning coming up. 5-2 Athletics. here's our true story for today. It's brought to you by McDonald's. May 13th, 1958 at Wrigley Field. That is the great Stan Musial. He gets career hit number 3,000. There it is. It's an RBI double. He became, at the time, the 8th Major League player to reach 3,000 hits, the first to reach the milestone with an extra base hit. That night, Musial was greeted at St. Louis's Union Station by nearly 1,000 fans. He finished his career 3,630 hits, the 4th most hits all time behind Rose, Cobb, and Aaron. Sensational career for Stan Musial. Boy, 4th most hits in Major League Baseball history. What else needs to be said? And he's got a couple statues outside the stadium. So it is the top of the 6th inning. Garcia back out there for the Cardinals. He'll face Healy, Vogt, and Eibner. It's been a good afternoon for Ryan Healy. He has doubled twice and scored a run. Healy continues to impress. He's got his batting average now up to 291. First pitch, taps it towards short. Nice hop for Garcia. So Healy on one pitch, he is retired. And that'll bring up Stephen Vogt. Vogt has the big hit in this game, a 3-run shot in the 3rd inning. He was also hit by a pitch in the 1st.
Sorry, Cap, we had a visitor in the booth by the name of Red Shady.
No, that's okay. That's
had
royalty there.
Have to say hello to the great Red Shady. What a great man. 93 years young.
Wow,
and
great.
Looked great. Looks great.
That's baseball royalty. Oh, Red Shady.
He would appreciate this shot by Stephen Vogt, the lefty on the lefty. And Stephen Vogt, that's a big one because that made it a 4-run game. A 2-out, 3-run home run. So the 5 runs scored by the Athletics coming with 2 outs, the 2 home runs. Now Red Shane is, of course, we saw his poster out on the outfield wall. Former manager of the Cardinals. Hey, Stephen Vogt, and we know in watching Brandon Moss how well he hit lefties whenever he was with the Athletics, and same for Stephen Vogt, and comes up with a big 3-run home run. Moss has been in all 3 games this weekend. One against the lefty on Friday, Detwiler. Stephen Vogt knew that the lefty Jaime Garcia was going to be pitching. Brandon Moss in left field has nobody to talk to today. He's so lonely out there. Just,
you think he mumbles to himself?
I had a nice visit with him, and I asked him about his Allie, and of course, Jaden, his 7-year-old son. He said, well, they're back home because Jaden started school, and he wanted to come here this weekend, but Mossy said they went to Disneyland, Disney World.
Shading his eyes is the third baseman Peralta, but instead it'd be Rosario who takes it. Rosario seemed to have it all the way.
But Brandon Moss liked it here so much. He said it's kind of nice they're not here because they would have brought back a lot of good memories for his wife Allie, and of course Brody, their youngest son Jaden, who was always around and couldn't wait to come to the clubhouse. Daddy, please win so I can come in the clubhouse. But he's just so lonely out there in left field. He'd rather play first and talk. And a good man. He loves it here too. He said, man, I'm a free agent, as you mentioned last night. He said, but I'm doing everything I can to stay here. I love playing here in St. Louis.
How could you not?
Exactly.
2 outs for Brett Eibner. Eibner bouncer towards second, so it's going to be a very easy inning for Jaime Garcia. Bottom of the 6th coming up. Heads up. Cardinals got the top of the order coming up.
on each week as insider Joe Stiglitz talks baseball with players, coaches, special guests, and more. This week, Joe's guest is former A's and current Indians reliever Dan Otero. A's Insider Podcast with Joe Stiglitz on CSNCalifornia.com, sponsored by Max Muscle Sports Nutrition. That's Max Muscle Sports Nutrition. It's also available on iTunes.
Bottom of the 6th from Busch Stadium. Andrew Triggs has retired 8 in a row, and he's got the top of the order. And the first pitch to Carpenter is a strike. Another good performance. 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, no walks, and 7 strikeouts.
All the while pitching out of the stretch all day, but in most cases not needing to. He's retired now 8 in a row. That's following Carpenter's home run. That was 3rd inning. Matt Carpenter straightaway center field on a 2-1 fastball, the uppercut, straightaway center.
Quick 0-2 to Carpenter.
Good story about Matt Carpenter growing up in Prosper, Texas, and Torrey Hunter would go to workouts, and he took Matt Carpenter under his wings and said, "Why don't you come with me?" And he said, "I can't afford it." So Torrey said, "You come with me and I'll take care of it." So he took him to work out, batting practice, everything, working out these high-tech physical conditioning programs that guys go into in the offseason. Carpenter's dad, a high school coach, and Torrey used to provide baseballs and bats and all kinds of equipment. And Carpenter said, "I can never repay you." And Torrey Hunter simply said, "Yes, you can. Get to the big leagues." Well, he's here, and he is doing quite a job. So it's all a result of Torrey Hunter, the great one, taking him under his wing and helping him get to where he is right now.
He got a long-term contract a couple of years ago.
But you can imagine, the finances, and these guys go to these really high-tech conditioning programs in the offseason, and guys that make the money can afford to do it. And Carpenter was one who said, "I cannot." So give credit to Torrey Hunter for really helping this young man become a major league star.
And he loops that one down the right field line, and it's fair. Carpenter's going to try for 2, and he's going to make it with a sliding double. Carpenter has 2 doubles and a homer in the game so far.
4 hits given up by Andrew Triggs, 3 of them by this young man. So he seems to have figured out, but it seems like also in watching his at-bats, 3-1, 2-1, 3-2, the counts, and he's been willing to take pitches. Kind of, I think, to your point about prototypical leadoff hitters, he is the combination. 17 home runs and working the count to be able to get the pitches to hit.
Jerko. A's bullpen starting to move around now. Jerko has grounded out, and he has struck out. So it's Ryan Dull.
Greg Smith says this is like a boxing trainer. He's got a towel around his neck, took some water up to him. Said, "Anything I can do to help you."
Taken all the way, and that snaps in there for a strike. Go a hot hitter, lots of home runs since the All-Star break.
Oh, he asked for time, didn't get it. How about that, Kai? Jerko put up his hand, but because he was in the stretch and ready to pitch, it wasn't. I mean, Triggs taking a long time, but Jerko asked for time, stepped out. You know what? Don't put up your hand. That's right. And don't step out of the box.
Ask for it, verbally. Ask for it loud. Don't take your hand off the bat.
And don't assume you're going to get it. And that pitch right down the middle. So I'm glad Triggs threw a strike, or threw a fastball for a strike, because otherwise. But really, the fact that he's taking as much time as he is, Jerko thought he's taking too much time. But I think when you have a pitcher that's in the stretch, if he it takes too much time. But when we saw Daniel Mingden out of the windup, and Odor asked for time of the Rangers, which were granted, that's not acceptable. But sometimes he is here. But to your point, it's great because yes, you ask verbally, but be ready to hit in the event you don't get the time.
Pitch stays inside. The point is just keep your hand on the bat. Yeah. Not only did Jerko take his hand off the bat, but he also just kind of stepped out. He kind of gave up on the at bat.
Maybe he saw Smolinski being granted time earlier. Thought he's going to have the same for him, but it was not the case.
Foul that one back. So 80 pitches for Triggs. His last start, a career high 89. So he's done a good job today. Pinder trying to keep Carpenter somewhat close. This one hit in the air, right center. Eibner over. Eibner has it. Carpenter's going to tag. The throw is cut off. So Triggs gets it out, but that out moves a runner up to third with one out. So it is a productive out by Ginger.
Last night the A's were trailing when Zach Neal came out of the game for a pinch hitter. Today, Triggs can get through this inning. And we'll see what Bob Melvin does decide to do because it is the 6th inning. He's due up second next inning. Does have a 3-run lead.
First pitch to Moss is hit high in the air toward left center, plenty deep as Carpenter tags up. So Carpenter, he will come in to score on the sacrifice fly by Moss to make it a 5-3 game. So for Moss, his 61st RBI.
Well, he stayed inside nicely, and yes, he's a pull hitter. Could have tried to hit a 2-run home run, and Triggs hoping for a ground ball, maybe back to him or staying someplace, but instead deep enough. Carpenter 3 hits, 3 runs scored. And that's the difference in the game. The A's 5 runs on 2 with 2 outs, 2 home runs. And Carpenter, this is so far for Triggs.
So here's Scotty with the bases empty now. Down and away. Matt Holliday on the disabled list. Matt Adams on the disabled list. Ledmus Diaz, the young shortstop, on the disabled list. So some big hitters missing from this Cardinals lineup. It's possible they could get them all back. If that were to happen, well, the Cardinals would get more games. They're going to get some of the pitchers back. Lance Lynn is out for the year. Waka, Walden, Rosenthal.
Some big names.
And,
big names.
Like I said, they're not gonna win the division. It's gonna be the Cup. And as good a chance as anybody in the wild card race. Good pitch there, and it's 3-2.
Give credit to Stephen Zode and Triggs. A few more fastballs, especially the right-handers have been seeing a lot of sweeping sliders. So Rosario last inning upset whenever he took strike 3 and a fastball on a 3-2. This is another fastball outside.
Strike 3 called on the outside corner. Triggs gets his 8th strikeout. Cardinals get a run. 7th inning coming up. It's now 5-3. He's leading. sister station, Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. Highlights from our game here and highlights from all around Major League Baseball as we close in on September in the great pennant races. And the 49ers back at practice. Kelly Johnson, Henry Wolford. A's hanging on to a 5-3 lead here in St. Louis, trying to win the series. Chad Pinder's going to lead things off. Alcantara's come out into the on-deck circle, so Triggs is done. Well, the way the Cardinals score runs, hit home runs, an insurance run or two would be nice.
Well, unfortunately for the A's, Garcia has actually settled down. Double plays. Last 3 innings really has been his best because he has 7 of his 8 ground ball outs. Actually, of his 10 ground ball outs have been recorded in the last 3 innings. So while he might have struggled and taken a lot of time in the early part of the game, he has settled down.
Get an easy out here on Pinder. He throws it low again, and Carpenter this time digs it out. Well, he did that back in the 3rd inning. He almost did it again.
And he had to get a new baseball. As soon as he threw it, boy, he ducked his head, and he had to be hoping that Carpenter could take the low throw because plenty of time to throw it straight down. And he's lucky that Carpenter was able to handle it, because that's a play really that should have been made easily. It's been Carpenter's day. We've talked about change of the rules and how they want to try to maybe speed up the game by having intentional walks to say go to first base. Remember, was it last night that the Washington pitcher, Cole,
launched one, didn't he?
Yeah, threw a wild pitch, not a run to score and a run to go to third.
So here's Arizmendi Alcantara. More action for Garcia. He fires this one right on target. So 2 outs.
Well, he made sure this time as he caught it and looked at the chest of Carpenter and threw it. Carpenter said, "Thank you. I don't have to try to scoop another one."
So with 2 out, here's Smolinski. Smolinski is 0 for 3. So the A's scored 5 runs on 5 hits in the first 3 innings. But since then, just a couple of hits, and both those hits wiped out on double plays. It's going to be another ground ball out. So indeed, I think Garcia has been able to keep his team in the game. 7th inning stretch coming up, 5-3 A's lead.
Andrew Triggs making his 5th start of the season. Good slider as always, especially the righties. Started throwing more fastballs later, would strike out 8, which is a season best for him, as he is probably career best too, because out of the bullpen, but now starting career high 8 strikeouts. Thank you, Larry. 88 pitches. That last fastball, that wasn't the fastball, and he would get a strike 3 on his last hitter. He faced Piscotty, as he was heading to first base on a 3-2 fastball as well. So Andrew Triggs looking for his first win as a starter. Let's see if the A's can hang on with the bullpen as they did last night to get it for him.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. So it is Ryan Dull, who pitched on Friday night, 2/3 of an inning. He'll face Peralta, Grichuk, and Garcia. Johnny Peralta, a ground out and a fly ball to center field so far today. 7 hits for the Athletics, 4 hits for the Cardinals. Cardinals have made the only error in the game. So much like last night's game, the bullpen is going to need to get 9 outs. They did it last night, and it was a thing of beauty.
Yeah.
No hits, no runs, 6 strikeouts in 3 innings last night. They're going to need it again today. He charges, scoops it up, throws on the run, and they get Peralta 1 out.
If he's got a good over-the-top strong arm. Peralta's trying to make that same play at third. He's not been able to successfully. And charging, we'll just watch Healy catch the ball with the glove, then on the move right over the top. He doesn't throw sidearm. He throws over the top. This is great technique to catch the ball with the glove, and then a very quick throw over the top, and he gets Peralta by plenty. So a long hitting streak. Took the ball off his right kneecap last night. I think he said it best. He did not want that to be the headline of the story. So A's did win, comeback fashion, and he was a big part of it.
Grichuk has struck out and lined out. And a good pitch, quick 0-2.
You mentioned last night in the bullpen, it was Coulombe, Hendricks, and Matson. And today it starts with Ryan Dull. Bob Melvin likes to mix and match. We'll see how he does the remainder of this game. Starts with Ryan Dull, the right-handers at this part of the order.
Well, none of the A's pitchers, none of the A's relievers have pitched in both games in this series.
That's right.
So 1-2 the count. Left-handed hitter Garcia waits in the on-deck circle. Coulombe just now getting up in the A's bullpen. Warming up quick. Stephen Vogt turns around, fighting that sun. Not an easy play, and he stays with it. And he's got it for the second out. It can't be easy, right? You turn around, you look up, and the sun is staring right at you.
And no sunglasses for Stephen Vogt. Some catchers will wear the sunglasses, but using his glove to shade his eyes, fires the ball, get rid of the mask, and makes the play easily with the glove over his head. But he used the glove his whole time, shading his eyes. And again, while some catchers will wear the wraparound sunglasses, a lot of the Oakleys are worn by catchers because they're close to the face and wrap around.
Line drive and a base hit past Pinder. Greg Garcia gets the 2-out single.
And jumping on the first pitch, not waiting around, got a first pitch fastball, pretty good location, but that's a fastball that started outside corner, ran towards the middle of the plate. And the movement that Dull has on his pitches, it sometimes overthrows him.
So here's Rosario. Hazelbaker, a left-handed hitter, comes out into the on-deck circle. There are 2 outs. Hazelbaker, very dangerous pinch hitter.
And you mentioned Coulombe boosting in the bullpen, perhaps just because of that. And that's the managing the National League when you have pitcher in that spot.
Missed again, 2-0. Steven Vogt, just a quick BB with Dole. So 2-0. Rosario has popped out and he has struck out, and now it's 3-0. That went right in there for a strike. So Rosario looked like he was taking that one. That one's lined right field, and it's fair. Eibner picks it up, and they're waving home Garcia. The throw to the plate is just a little bit late. Throw to third, and they get Rosario there, and that's a big out.
Yes, it is.
So Rosario with the RBI double, but he was in scoring position, but he tried to go to third, and he is retired. So now it's 5-4. California is brought to you by Black Bear Diner. Feed your inner bear. So here's the play that ended the bottom of the 7th. The Cardinals get a run, but I think the A's caught a little break here, right?
They did. The ball down in the corner, and really it took a long time for Eibner to corral the ball. Maybe stuck underneath, came to Karam, and so the throw into Pinder to the plate. Steven Vogt hurriedly getting the ball. No chance for the plate, but he knows he can get the runner going to third. And Vogt with a very strong throw, and Healy waiting for the tag. Popped up, stopped, and then he had to go after him as Rosario tried to get to the bag. But you're right, because he's already at second. If he stops there, if the guy's thrown out at the plate, that's not his fault. The third base coach was sending him all the way, but that's a big run and a big out for the A's.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. It's the veteran Jonathan Broxton who pitched last night. Broxton listed at 6'4", 285 pounds. He's 32 years old. Shallow center. Gritchick cannot get this one. So Semien gets his first hit today. So Broxton takes over for Jaime Garcia, who ends up giving up 5 runs, a walk, and 6 strikeouts. But he was a little rocky early, but he settled in nicely.
Ended up with 13 ground ball outs, and that is his specialty. 95 pitches, so everything good after the first 3 innings. As you said, 5 hits on 5 runs. 5 runs on the 5 hits. The 5 runs for the A's came early, all with 2 outs. They're trying to hang on by just 1 now.
Valencia steps in.
Insurance runs would be huge right now.
Valencia is 2 for 3. 2 singles and a run scored. So lefty Zach Duke up. Pitched last night. Valencia lines one right field, fair ball. Semien digging for third, and Ron Washington's going to wave him home. Here comes Semien. The throw to the plate is high. He's safe. So is Valencia at third, and it's 6-4.
Wow.
So a 3-hit game for Danny Valencia, none bigger than that.
But I must say, the relay by Jerko to the plate, if he had thrown it hard, he might have had a chance. And coming around to score, great strides by Semien, but throw coming in from right field by Piscotty. But when Jerko got the ball, the relay, there's Allen home, and just kind of a lob to the plate. No chance to get it, and as a result, all the way to third is Valencia, and now the infield has to come in. So the A's get it the big out at third. The tying run thrown out at third. This time the A's score the extra run, have a runner at third.
Well, the infield obviously in. Valencia picks up his 45th RBI. Just a touch outside, 2-0.
And a bunch of right-handers in the lineup. Vogt the only lefty, and he's due up third following. Of course, Healy due up next, and then Vogt, and that's why Duke is up. But maybe also in case the A's were to use a pinch hitter, which they probably will not. They get in the low part of the batting order.
Swing and a miss. Fastball on 2-0.
Chris Davis had an easy swing on a 3-2 fastball first inning against Garcia. This time he swung so hard his helmet lost. Fell off his head.
Davis, a 2-run homer in the first. He walked and scored in the third, and he hit into a 5-4-3 double play in the fifth. Swing there. 2-2 the count. On deck is Healy. Very close. I wouldn't take that again. Just saying.
Yeah, you're right. That's with CB right over the catcher and Rosario holding it a little bit extra time.
So a full count. And he got it. So one out of the strike zone did Davis. So Broxton gets a big strikeout, 1 out.
The infield's going to stay in. Now it is up to Ryan Healy, and he figured he was going to get the breaking ball. Got a 3-2 curve last night from the hard-throwing right-hander Reyes. Not surprised after hitting the home run on the fastball 3-2 that it would get the slider. Well, this is an intentional walk for Duke to come in to face Vogt. Because it's rare that a right-hander would intentionally walk a right-handed batter to get to a lefty. So we have to think with Duke loosening up, they'd rather take the hot bat of Healy, take it out of his hands.
So there is the intentional walk. And here comes Mike Matheny. So as expected, he points and he wants the left-hander. So the A's have added 1 run here in the 8th, and they're looking to add more. So Duke comes in to face Stephen Vogt. Presented by Zevia, the zero-calorie soda, and supported in part by Athena Bottled Water, Sutter Health, Nelson Staffing, Comerica Bank, State Roofing Systems, Drake's Brewing, and BDA. 10,000 fans will receive breast cancer awareness wristbands and $10 from every Drake's beer purchased at the Coliseum that afternoon. We'll go to breast cancer awareness. Purchase your special tickets now. Do so by going to athletics.com/survivor. So the A's looking for more. They've increased their lead to 6-4. Stephen Vogt steps in against Zach Duke. Duke pitched an inning in the 3rd last night through 20 pitches.
Infield kind of halfway up the middle. Off the line at 3rd is Peralta. So it's really just one of those things that Stephen Vogt just trying to get the ball airborne.
Goes after the first pitch, fouls it straight back.
What's interesting about this move, Kipe, is that Mike Matheny has already seen Stephen Vogt hit a 3-run home run off his starting pitcher, the lefty, Jaime Garcia, and he brings the lefty in to face him now out of the bullpen with a couple of runners on base, and Vogt trying to do something special again.
And the city went around. So now Vogt's going to really have to battle as the count is 0-2. Eibner, a right-handed hitter, is in the on-deck circle. So Semien single, Valencia double. Valencia went to third on the throw home. Outfield very shallow. That one cued back to the pitcher. Duke knocks it down. Can't pick it up. Everybody's safe, including Valencia at the plate. He had a fairly easy play at the plate. Valencia was going to be out. And even if he picked it up the second time, I think Valencia was going to be out. And he couldn't do it.
And kicked it the third time.
So the A's now lead 7-4. We'll see what the ruling is.
Well, fortunately, Valencia was going on contact somewhat anyway. Did not start immediately, but second error for the starting pitcher, or the pitchers today, catching it there to get him, and then he picks it up. He looked, and as he went down to barehanded, watch him peek right here. He's looking at him and trying to pick up the ball. You cannot do that. He knows it. He's been around too long, and that's a huge run that Stephen Vogt hits an error on the pitcher. If they give him an RBI or not, if he was running on contact, it probably would be, but it looked like he hesitated momentarily coming down the line. Maybe he thought the ball was going to get by Duke.
So here's Eibner. Still only one out in the inning with 2 runs in.
Pep, you said it best at the beginning of this series that the Cardinals defense has not been playing like they should to help try to win and go into October, and it's hurt them today.
Yes, it has. Hurt them last night.
Yeah, big time.
It wasn't
Yeah.
an error on Moss. So 1-2 the count. A couple errors today by the Cardinals. 3 in the series. Sakalovich up for the second time.
Mike Matheny made the move, and actually had Duke made the play, he would have been brilliant because he would have had Valencia by 20 feet at the plate.
And Eibner swings and misses.
Well, last night with Chris Davis, the tying run at third with 1 out. Brandon Moss, a great diving play by, and then came up throwing to the plate, and the throw offline, the tying run scored, and he knew he had made it. And I'll say this, his manager simply said he was trying to help us win. He did not criticize Moss for the play, and he said he knew Moss was going to be a stand-up guy and realized it was not the smart play.
Moss criticized himself.
Absolutely. Yeah, and he said it. But I think, as Brandon said, that the best thing that he has seen with Mike Matheny is that, sure, he could have been very critical, but I mentioned to Matheny what Moss had said, and he said, hey, he was just trying to help us win. That's all it was. So you can't fault him for that. And that's what players love about managers who, in that particular case, it may have cost them a game. Could have been a tie game, and home team, maybe they would have had the opportunity to win it, but it did not happen. And Moss is back in there today.
So 0-2 to Chad Pinder. Pinder is 1 for 3. Strikeout, single, and a bounce out back to the pitchers.
And his first RBI in the big leagues came with 2 outs. That was the Coliseum we showed earlier, and it'd be a great time to do it again.
And he goes down swinging. But the A's get 2 insurance runs. Bottom of the 8th coming up. It's now the A's 7, the Cardinals 4.
Vegas baseball on CSN California is brought to you by Toyota. Toyota's Labor Day clearance event is here. For Labor Day only, get $2,500 total cash back on the redesigned 2016 Prius. Toyota, let's go places. And by Xfinity. X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience TV.
Game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. 7-9-0 for the Athletics, 4-6-2 for the Cardinals. Andrew Triggs good again. 6 innings, 3 earned runs, a career high 8 strikeouts. Jaime Garcia was a little shaky early, but he settled in. Ended up going 7 innings. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and brake expert. So Liam Hendriks on for the 8th inning. Hendriks pitched last night, had a couple of big strikeouts. So the first pitch is fouled straight back. So this is Tommy Pham, who's pinch hitting. And Yonder Alonso is in the game at first base. That is a double switch. So Alonso is hitting in the 9th spot, meaning he will lead off top of the 9th. Strike called 0-2 to Tommy Pham. Strike 3 called right on the outside corner. You could not have placed it there any better. It was the exact same pitch twice in a row.
That's exactly right. And for Liam Hendriks, nailing the outside corner, what a breath of fresh air he has been. And really, with Subsinski being traded to the Nationals, Liam Hendriks now steps into the role of getting out lefties and righties. It doesn't really matter. And the way he is pitching using his fastball, he is bringing it and doing it in back-to-back games as he did last night, striking out a couple.
So 1 out for Carpenter, who the A's have not figured out today. Doubled and scored in the 1st. Homered in the 3rd, doubled and scored in the 6th. Maybe Hendriks is the guy to figure out Carpenter.
Fastball in, run it in.
Hit in the air towards center. Smolinski shading his eyes. Now comes in and he makes the catch.
Yeah, it looked like he shaded his eyes and then found the ball. Has his sunglasses, used its glove, and then kind of froze a little bit, found the ball, then went after it. Up there, and then it takes a few steps in, telling everybody he's got it, because when you see guys kind of freeze a little bit, and your corner outfielders or an outfielder next to him, you start running thinking not able to find it.
Jerko goes after the first pitch.
He's happy Triggs is gone. He doesn't like that sweeping slider from Triggs.
Today has grounded to 3rd, struck out, and hit a fly ball to right field. Ryan Dull goes an inning, gives up a couple of hits and a run. No walks, no strikeouts.
Oh, his catcher's mitt. Something happened to it. He looking for his backup.
Maybe he's just going over for a drink of water.
You do that, ladies. Get his catcher's mitt. That's why as a catcher you have usually 3. A gamer, one that's could be used as a gamer, and then a brand new one that you're breaking in. So Walt Horn will do his magic. Looks like the webbing's broken, and as you mentioned last night, the strap around for the wrist. You can see it hanging a little bit.
Healy waits, gonna have to hurry. Barehand throws, got it. What a play by Ryan Healy. Set himself up nicely to barehand it, and a quick release, and it's a good inning for Hendricks.
Jose Canseco's historic 1986 season with the Jose Canseco Rookie of the Year bobblehead. It's presented by Kelly Moore Paints at the A's versus Red Sox game Saturday, September the 3rd. 15,000 fans will take home this Bash Brother bobblehead featuring one of the greatest sluggers in franchise history. Get your tickets now at athletics.com/tickets.
So the A's leading 7-4 ninth inning from Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Miguel Sokolovic is the new pitcher. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and brake expert. So just the third appearance for Sokolovic, just called up from the minor leagues. And this is Yonder Alonso, who came in on the double switch. So Alonso hitting in the 9th spot. Smolinski to follow, and then Semien. He's got 2 big insurance runs in the 8th inning. Chop to the right side. Jerko has it. Alonso is out. Madsen throwing in the A's bullpen. Hendricks with another good inning, and Madsen getting ready. Smolinski's 0 for 4. That's the first one up. So on to Houston after the game. Our final trip to Houston this year. We still go to Arlington.
Really?
We went to Arlington on the beginning of this road trip because this is a 5-game trip. That's right. With Oakland being the 3rd city. A 5-city trip, I should say. So that's what's coming up. Manaea and Musgrove, the rookie right-hander. And Graveman and McHugh on Tuesday. Detweiler fires on Wednesday. So 2 night games and a day game from Minute Maid Park. What a play by Peralta. Spins around and he took a hit away from Smolinski. To his left, not an easy hop, but Peralta handled it nicely.
Well, and he made a quick throw to first base, not even looking at Carpenter, a little underneath flip, and the accuracy right on point to be able to get Smolinski hustling down the line.
So 2 away for Marcus Semien. Astros are losing to the Rays 6-3 in the top of the 8th in Houston. Rangers leading the Indians 2-0 in the 6th. More action. Peralta scoops, throws low, but in time to get Semien. Sokolovich has a 3-up, 3-down inning, and Ryan Madson coming in to try to save it for the A's.
By authority of the Oakland Athletics and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
Well, this coming Friday, it's an authentic Fan Friday. The Red Sox are in town. You're going to get a ticket in our value deck behind home plate, an authentic A's fan bucket hat, a cheer card, and a $6 food and drink voucher, all for one great price. The best deal in Bay Area baseball is CSN's authentic Fan Friday. The Red Sox in town. So that's a very, very good team. Terrific lineup. So another fun series for these young players for the A's. Let's get the bucket hat, which really should be numero uno on your list. Ryan Madson comes in. He's going to try to get a save on his birthday. He's got 26 saves on the year. As he faces Moss, who hits it hard in the right center for a hit. So Moss doesn't wait around. He gets his first hit today. And that'll bring up Piscotty.
All closers like 3-run leads, and Ryan Madson has it. First pitch fastball, and to your point, that no reason if you get that kind of a pitch to unload. Moss did, and beats the shift.
So Piscotty steps in, Peralta to follow here in the bottom of the ninth. A's leading 7-4. First pitch just a little bit inside. Madson trying to save it for Triggs, who has a chance to get his first major league win. Strike outside corner. Just a touch high to Piscotty. Last night, Madson threw just 16 pitches. A clean ninth inning. Not easy to come by for closers.
No, they're not, and that's why you get a 3-run lead. Sometimes you let your guard down a little bit. You pitch differently just because you have the leeway with the lead. And then leadoff hitter gets on, you say, okay, let's settle down, because another runner gets on base, and then that means the tying run comes to plate. You never want that, especially when you have a 3-run lead to start the ninth.
Pitch, old foul, the changeup at 82 miles an hour. Piscotty had an RBI single way back in the first. Since then, he has struck out a couple of times. So a full count. Got him swinging. And it was ball four.
That's exactly right. And the over aggressiveness of Piscotty and the Bay Area native went after a ball 4 pitch that would have put a couple of runners on base and the tying run of the plate. So yes, Stephen Vogt brought the glove up like maybe it was a foul tip, but regardless, it's a big strikeout for Madsen.
So here's Peralta. A little bit low. Grichuk is your on-deck hitter. In the air, right field, Eibner, and it drops right into the first row.
Well, as low as that is, had he been able to get there, the ball just kept sinking, slicing into the seats, but very, very low wall down the lines. And he got there and then kind of stopped a little bit and looked down, and that's what happened as he approached the sidewall. There was enough of a part of that wall out near the foul line. Very little foul territory down both lines.
So the count 1-1 to Peralta, who is 0 for 3. Swing and a miss. Fastball a little in up under the hands of Peralta.
That's called tying up a hitter. As he brought the hands in, but no contact. And a lot of hitters do not like the fastball inside to where they cannot extend their arms. One back.
Madsen. He's ready. Inside, and now it's 3-2. Looked like a changeup that just kind of didn't come out of his hand real clean. So 3-2, 1 out here in the ninth. And that one is hit toward left center field, and that's going to be a hit. So Peralta fights it off, drops a single in, and now the Cardinals will get the tying run to the plate here in the ninth inning.
Well, they missed it inside and tried to go back in. At least the ball ended up inside, but jammed him enough. And the outfielders gap left center, couldn't get to it.
So Madsen, an inning last night, going to have to work for it this afternoon. Here is Grichuk, who is 0 for 3.
Fortunately, Piscotty swung at ball 4.
Well, that's true.
Could have really been a mess now.
Grichuk takes a fastball first, right? Strikeout, line out, and a foul out for Grichuk. He has 18 home runs on the year, 47 RBIs. is line caught by Healy. It was a fair ball, and that's the second out. There's Siegel, the third base umpire.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That's fair.
It's interesting.
I'm surprised.
I've him too. You know, you can't really call a ball fair that a guy catches because you don't know where the ball is going to end up. And the way it was hooking, looked like it was going to go foul. And Healy, a nice play. Look where he's playing. And I don't know. That ball's going to go foul. That's going foul.
Either way.
He may have caught it in fair territory, but had he missed it, not put a glove on it, it would have been foul, but it's a big out anyway.
So here's Garcia. Garcia goes after the first pitch.
Not a surprise there.
Jumps ahead. Garcia 1 for 3. He had a base hit and scored a run in the 7th.
Well, how about this? Look, Ryan Healy, a couple of steps to his right.
That's not good.
That's not he actually took a jump in the foul territory. Wow. Now that's a time the third base umpire just do not do anything. Because, well, fortunately he caught it.
Whoa. Moss at second. Peralta at first.
Yadier Molina in the on-deck circle to hit for Rosario.
Hit high and foul. Left side. Back of the lower level.
And once again, as Stephen Vogt did last night in the 9th inning, a 1-run lead for the Athletics. He stayed outside, not really given a chance. And of course, remember Valbuena in Houston. And he got a pitch in the inner half of the plate that hit for a walk-off. And at least to this point, last night and this afternoon, he's staying away. Vogt is with Matson on the mound.
Very close. And now a full count. So the runners will take off. Moss and Peralta.
And while a changeup is a great pitch and he throws a very good one, changeup is a pitch that can be a mistake. Unless he throws it so well that screws himself to the ground, the hitter does.
Runners go. And the pitch is popped up shallow left center. Smolinski and Davis, and Smolinski grabs it, and that's the ball game. So Matson had to work for it, but on his birthday he gets his 27th save, and Andrew Triggs gets his first big league win with 6 good innings as today's starter, and the A's take 2 out of 3 here in St. Louis. It took 2 hours and 44 minutes. The crowd today 42,239. Final score: the A's 7, the Cardinals 4. You've been watching A's baseball on CSN California. It's part of the NBC Sports Group. Don't go away. A's Postgame Live with Brody Brazil and Pip Roberts starts right now.
Give him the ball.